Hey y'all, it's Erin from the Underground Railroad. You are tuning in to another great show on the Four-Eyed Radio Network. To listen to more of this show and other great shows, tune into www.foureyedradio.com.
That's right, kids. This is your good pal Steve-O from Four-Eye Radio Network. I'm here to talk about a great person. Now, think about it. Who are you going to call when your logo looks like shit? You want a kick-ass logo. You want people to see your logo and go, you know what? That's an awesome logo. I wonder who did that logo. Well, I'll tell you who could do your logos for you. Check out Raven Designs. Special care of your work. Special inquiries, check her out. She's got everything. Ravencruise.com is the place to go because you want a kick-ass logo. You want to stand above the rest. I guarantee it. You hear this song in the background, you know these guys have a kick-ass logo. It's a recognizable logo, and I guarantee it if Raven was back in that time period, she probably would have made it for them. And they would have been like, hells yeah, people know who we are because we got Raven Designs behind us. Check out Ravencruise.com if you want a kick-ass logo for business cards. Maybe you want to put it on a car. These guys did. Maybe you want to put it on your building. You want something kick-ass. You want something that people can see and just go, this is awesome. Check out Ravencruise.com. And you know what? Do it. Do it right now. You got nothing else going on for you right now. Get a kick-ass logo. Check out her artwork, Ravencruise.com.
Just like flies, look out. Here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Can you swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man.
All right, it's about that time for an all-new episode of the Long Box Cast. I need to assemble a new Avengers team because it's just me right now. But lucky for you guys, we have a special treat. One of my good friends, and he just actually got back from PAC East, is on the show. You might know him. He did a Kickstarter campaign about last year. It was widely successful. Now his comic actually just debuted in March, and I got to say it is beautiful looking. I was actually rereading them today while I was at work, and I was just all like, man, just the artwork in this new project that he's got is just amazing. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, it is the one and only Tavis Maiden.
Hey, dude.
So, yeah. So let's talk. It's Tenko King, right? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, Tenko King.
Tenko King. Now, you've been working on this for a while, but it finally was published and released to the public in March, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it launched on my birthday, March 3rd. So anybody who wants to send me presents in the future, now you know. But yeah, it's only been out for just a little over a month now, so it's a little bit of a backlog, but not too daunting if you want to jump in.
Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it, and I do have to say this. I don't know if you've gotten this right off the bat. I'm reading it. And it's doing, like, right off the bat, I'm falling in love with it because I've always liked your art style, and you switched up your art style from the very beginning when you were working on the Konamis. Mm-hmm. And I think you have come into your own. You've designed, like, when you see this artwork like from afar, I can be like, oh, that's TJ's, and that's what I know you were going for. It's kind of like unique, like, PvP and Penny Arcade. When you see that artwork, you know exactly who the artist is, and I know that's exactly what you were going for. But like right off the bat, I was looking at it going like, wow, this reminds me of Chrono Trigger.
Oh, awesome. That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
Because like reading it and it's all like, we're at a festival now. I'm all like, are they going to go in time? Like,
yeah, it's like I for a long time I've wanted to do this kind of high fantasy comic, meets classic cartooning style. And, for, like you said, one thing that I've really been working on is honing that voice, having something that is distinctly my own. You can see where my influences lie, obviously, but I want you to be able to look at something and know that it's mine.
Yeah, and I absolutely I absolutely love it. It's fantastic looking. Now, I've also loved a lot of your other pieces that you worked on, such as Stranger Danger, which you're still updating, I believe, every Sunday.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then you also now I'm not sure. You're probably going to hate me for this and maybe unfriend me on Facebook. I haven't caught up on too much of the Konamis now. Is that over, or is that on a hiatus, or what's going on with that?
That is a good question, and it's a difficult one to answer. The Konamis was initially supposed to have wrapped, and just due to unforeseen circumstances, it got put on hiatus while I was working on the Kickstarter, and then, as anybody who's done a Kickstarter knows, that just completely takes over your life. So that bled into the launch of this comic, and now it's trying to find that balancing act of finishing up the Konamis and still maintaining the balance of doing Tenko King and Stranger Danger.
Yeah, because that's like you're kind of like me when it comes to webcomics, where it comes to me with podcasts, where I'm just doing way too many.
Yeah, and that's something like when I launched Tenko King, I knew that I could do 2 really good pages, or I could do 3 or 4 mediocre pages, and I opted to go with having the artwork and having the storytelling. Step up my game there instead of just trying to cram out as many updates as I could and have it be kind of a mediocre piece.
Yeah, I understand that, because I know my group has been harping on me to do a socially awkward webcomic, and I told them, I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right, and I want to actually take my time and effort and draw everything out, but since I have way too many other things that I'm working on, I'm just like, it's really in the back burners, because I just doodle every once in a while, and I'll post some stuff to Instagram. I haven't really dove into any webcomics in a long time. But now this is basically like, you can say you're a professional like webcomic artist, right?
Yeah. I quit my job back January 1st to pursue this full time, and so far, I'm extremely proud of the work that I've been doing lately, and that's a lot for me to say, because anybody who's an artist and artist friends know that you always hate what you do. It's the curse. It's the curse of being an artist.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Like, people will give you compliments, and you're just like, yeah, but I feel like I could do it better and stuff. And that's actually what I like about talking with other artists, because you'll draw stuff out, and we never really, unless you're a complete, jerk or whatnot, but you never really bash on anybody. You're really more like, hey, have you ever tried drawing it like from this perspective, or you should add some shadow here? Like, it's more of like giving you like tips and tricks, more than just going like, oh, your artwork sucks. It'd be like, well, my stick people are pretty awesome, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you see those dynamic lines.
But yeah, you guys, you have a big thing. Now, I saw on both web pages, Thunder Skull Press, which I do have to say I'm absolutely also in love with Major Tom Jr.
Oh, cool.
Who is the artist behind that?
That is my friend Jeremy Fisher.
Okay.
Basically, he and I went to Tucson Comic-Con last year just to work the Thunder Skull Press booth. And at that time, you and I basically thought of the idea of Major Tom Jr. You came up with the idea, and then we started spitballing some story ideas. And I'd done a couple of real sporadic updates with it, and a few comics. But Jeremy loved the idea of it and wanted to see more of the characters. So I'm like, you know what? I could really use a regularly updating comic on Wednesdays. If you think you're up to the task, this is a sandbox I'm more than willing to see you play in.
Yeah, I was like, I loved your art style, and then I saw his art style, and I'm just like, I really, like, to be honest with you, I just want to like just be like, can we just start sending Major Tom Jr. out to different artists just to see what people come up with? Because his artwork just looks phenomenal. So Jeremy Fisher, props to you, because I love it. Absolutely love it. And even now, like, now I can do more impersonations. I'm all like, I'm serious. We should just go to Adult Swim, and we'll just pitch this idea to them and see what happens.
I know it's a cool comic, and just like the story ideas are just so open. It's got tons of potential to go in any direction.
Oh yeah, that's what I love about it. And people I tell them about it too, they're just all like, "Oh, this is phenomenal" and stuff like that. And it's just like because it's such an easy concept, but you can do so much with it. Because like I looked at it like it was kind of like Futurama, where Futurama takes place in the future. They're a delivery company, but you can do so much with it because it's space travel and there's no boundaries and nothing like that. I mean, if you literally just make a comic about, an office setting, not too much you can do. But like your new comic, it's like, it's an action adventure. So you can be like, oh, there's magic, there's monsters, there's, all these like epic weapons and stuff like that because you built this, fantasy world that pretty much you can just play in it. It's basically designing like your own level on a video game. It's all like, I'm going to just throw a dragon in here now. What's up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's something that, anybody who's looked at it, you could see the huge Legend of Zelda influence for Tenko King. And I'm totally open with that. I'm like, Legend of Zelda was a huge part of my childhood. And if anything, Tenko King is a culmination of all the things that I loved and, all the things that were difficult even about growing up.
Yes, I do like this. And also, I will say this, if it does become a cartoon show, I already have a voice for the frog character, just saying.
Okay.
But I love it. Now, I've been noticing a bunch of new stuff, like you've been having pins. Now, I'm not too familiar with the buttons, the pins, the badges, and everything like that. Now, I know Penny Arcade, I want to say started this. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I know they were doing this for a long time, and you started doing it. I think it's a great idea. It's kind of like, it's almost like Pokemon, where you can kind of trade these limited edition like pins and stuff like that. Tell me about the creative process with this, and tell me what did you decide? What did you decide? Be like, I want to make this to a pin.
Well, when it actually started with Disney. Disney, their parks like Disneyland, Disney World, they have trading pins of all their characters, and the concept is very simple. You can go to any of the little Disney shops, and you can buy a pack of pins. And then you can walk around, and anybody on staff who has a lanyard full of pins has to trade with you. So you could find like really hard to find collectible pins and trade them out for your starter pack. Then, and this is where the smart business end of it comes in, then they can take those pins and put them right back into the starter packs again.
Oh, that is smart. That is good business.
Yeah. So they just keep going and going and going. And there are certain pins where there's only a limited number, so those are more sought after, those are more collectible. But essentially, Mike and Jerry just loved it. Like, they had such a blast with it. It was such like a good family bonding experience for them when they took their families to Disneyland and Disney World and wanted to do something with their characters. And that's where Penny Arcade came in. So now they kind of have that same model, and they're really cultivating a killer collection. I mean, there are companies on waiting lists now to get their own Penny Arcade pin.
Really?
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. Yeah, I know I want to start doing it, but I'm afraid it's going to become like my video game addiction, and I'm probably going to end up becoming like a crack addicted with it, and people will be like, did you hear about Steve? Yeah, he overdosed on what? Pins.
Yeah, let me know though if you want a strip search pin. I'll hook you up.
Oh, I would. Yes, I would definitely want one. I already, with the new pin you just released with the latest comic, and to be honest with you, I was just like, okay, TJ and I are either on the same page, or you just I want to say just with the creative aspect mind, just because when I saw that comic where the character shows the pin, I was all like, oh, TJ should totally make that into a pin. And then tonight I go onto the Facebook and I see it, I was all like, oh my god. Question for you with doing a bunch of the cons. I know you do have. We'll talk about. You do have a tour pretty much coming up. I know you're going to be at Phoenix-comicon. Is correct?
Yes.
But now with all this new, like basically being your own business, have you felt that your business side has become a lot better? Are you more what's the word I'm looking for? Like, know how to figure out like your, I guess, do you have a business plan put together? Do you know how to be like, okay, how do you market stuff now? Or is it still just like, I'm just drawing?
Well, yeah, you can't just draw anymore, unfortunately. That's I think those days are gone, or at least they're rapidly dwindling. Like, you have to be ready to take up the mantle of putting on different hats and doing the business thing and knowing how to do your taxes and being an adult in some respect.
Yeah, being an adult is always fun.
Yeah, but it's definitely a new skill set. I wouldn't say that I'm good at it just yet, but I'm learning. Okay. And one thing I've been fortunate enough to have is a good wealth of contacts. People that I can talk to, other people who have been doing this for a long time, who I can kind of bend their ear a little bit and figure out what I'm doing that works and what I'm doing that's not working, or just bounce ideas off of. Hey, what if I tried this? Hey, what if I did this?
Okay, very cool, very cool. So now I would just realize what the word I was looking for, an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I like how my vocabulary is very not...
It kicks in.
Yeah, my vocabulary is very not so good. But so now do you have your booth? And Allie, I know you're going to be an artist, Allie. Where can people find you at Phoenix-comicon? You got a number you want to plug?
Don't quote me, but I believe it's 1815 and 1817. We actually doubled up on tables.
Woo!
Because last year was a good year for us, so we were able to just double down basically and get 2 tables. So what I want to do with Jack is I want to have one table that is old school Thunder Skull stuff,
nice.
Konami, Stranger Danger, Major Tom stuff, and one table that is all Tenko King, because this is the year of Tenko King.
Yeah, no, and I'm super excited for this thing. Like I'm actually looking, like, it's as bad as it sounds. I'm looking forward for this year, but I'm kind of also looking forward for like the future year, like pretty much next year, just so I could be like, I just bought my first book, kind of stuff. But that's awesome. Yeah. So I know when this episode goes up, I'll post all the information. As well, because I know a lot of stuff is going on at Phoenix-comicon this year. So I know you just got done at PAC East. Did you have any panels there? What did you do at PAC East? Because that just finished up, this last weekend?
Yeah. And actually, I was at Emerald City Comic-Con for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and that was a blast. But PAX East was the Penny Arcade Expo.
Yes.
And that was just pretty much hanging out at the table, talking to anybody who wanted to listen about Tenko King, and selling prints, pins, and patches.
Very cool, very cool. Now, I know you do. I know a buddy of mine was talking about. Not a buddy. Eric was talking about how you do commission pieces, and he says your prices are actually quite reasonable. And I saw you post them on your Instagram. You're knocking a lot of them out pretty quickly. Now, are they kind of just simple? I'm guessing you pretty much kind of take pretty creative commissions, nothing some people, I remember talking to somebody at a party, they were like, oh yeah, my girlfriend does dragon porn. I'm like, that's the weirdest commission I could ever think of. So what is your process on that? Because I already know I have 2 things lined up that I'm probably going to ask you to commission for. One we already talked about, which was a Rocket Raccoon, because I'd like to see that in your art style.
My process is fairly straightforward. I'm open to discussing any options. I'm open to discussing anything that somebody wants to do, whether it's dragon porn or whether it's a corporate logo. I'm pretty much game. Depending on what I'm doing, there's different prices, and there might be some different licensing issues or different royalties to discuss, but it all boils down to what's the project, how long do I think it's going to take me, I'll bill based off of that, and go from there.
Very cool. I saw some of your pieces that you were commissioning. The Wreck-It Ralph one I saw, I thought was really well done.
Thanks.
Just I don't know, just so with your art style, I still have people come over, and it's funny, I still have the Konami ones that I framed that are signed by you and Jack. I also have the one that you did of the Nintendo characters up in my bedroom. Basically,
nice. Yeah.
it's almost like if someone came over and knew you, they'd be like, okay, I think you're stalking TJ, because literally my desk in my bedroom has pretty much every piece of artwork that I've ever gotten from you for a birthday or I purchased from you, and I just put it up on the wall, not even thinking. Oh, this is my TJ wall. I was just I'm just going to put some stuff up, and just how your stuff fits, it just fit perfectly. And then in my bathroom, there's a wall that has some of the paintings you've done that I wanted, white elephant parties and stuff like that. So it's just kind of funny that I was just So I have a feeling when I get into my new place, it's probably just going to be ending up a wall of just your pieces. Just because because I just like your artwork, and I'm just it's just cool to have, and just it's great when people come over and be like, oh, who did this, and I get to be like, oh, I know the guy.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I appreciate that. That's really cool.
No, yeah, and I always tell people too, I'm like, oh, if you like that, you gotta check this out. I remember when your debut of Tenko King came out, I was just like, everyone must read this now. If you don't read this, I'm unfriending you. So, but yeah, I absolutely love it. So, I'm trying to think what else is there. So, Phoenix-Comicon, you just did. So you did PAX East, Emerald Comic-Con. Is Phoenix-Comicon the next one coming up, or do you have another one coming up before that?
No. I have a little bit of a reprieve. So Phoenix-Comicon is the next one coming up. But one thing I'm really excited about, I started doing it at Emerald City, and I've been expanding on it, for each show. I'm treating my displays almost like a little diorama. So I went out and I bought some AstroTurf, like the fake grass, and some moss and some little like diorama trees and things like that. And I'm building these little scenes on the desk, on the artist alley table or whatever booth I'm at, and then having like the merchandise scattered throughout the scene, so it looks like you're actually going into the world.
Dude.
So like
awesome.
for Phoenix, I want to take it to the next level because it's a home show, so I don't have to ship all this stuff. So it'll be a lot easier for me to just like really go balls out with display stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, now you've just taken like the creative level of stuff and just like amped it up to like 11.
Oh man, I'm stoked. Like I want people to feel like they're walking into this fantasy world when they're coming to buy things, and that's where the idea for those the medallions came from. Where it's like I think it's actually cooler when you have merchandise that the character would be able to buy in that world, or the character would be able to equip in that world, not just something that says here's project name, generic print X, but actually have something like, this would be the poster that you would find on the traveling merchant's cart, or this is the medallion that, all the young Redori saplings get when they start growing up.
No, that's awesome. And actually, I was just about to say, I do agree with you with that. There's always sometimes you're watching a show, and either a cartoon show, and you're just like, oh, it's so like a shirt of that, or it's so like, oh, he bought that or something like. And I always feel like that's such a good marketing scam. And it's so weird that not too many other people, like big companies, I'm talking about like successful cartoon shows, they don't even think to do that. And it always happens like to do that within like, I think that would be awesome. Like, I mean, heck, yeah, I don't know if Penny Arcade did it, but it's like, Gabe's shirt, with the Pac-Man thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd totally buy a Pac-Man shirt like that. They're probably not going to make it, whether or not they don't want to do that, or it comes down to licensing or something like that. But if you're creating your own kind of merchandise, I mean, that'd be like totally, like literally if he was holding like, he has like a certain bag, like it's his wallet or whatnot, like in the comic, and you're like, we're going to start making that. I'm like, totally no blame or like brainer. That's, to me, that's just awesome, because it just was like, oh, now I'm part of this world. I'm part of this. And yeah, I feel like those buttons and pins, those are going to go like hotcakes.
Oh man, it's a balancing act though, because I get the same way as you, with collecting. I get that way with creating stuff, where it's like I could get really obsessive with like, oh, this will be a cool one, and this will be a cool one, and this will be a cool one. And then before you know it, have like 500 pins of different designs,
Yeah. Well, as long as you don't start becoming like Pokemon, where you'll design like one that looks exactly like another one, and then lie to our faces and be like, "Oh, Pichu, he's number 175, even though Pikachu's 25."
Well,
joke's on you.
You know what I love about the pins is that they're like the middle ground between the comic and a toy. And if you know me, like I'm all about toys. Like I love cool little figures. And so like having these pins is that perfect little middle ground where it's like an accessory you can wear, but it's just that in between. It's that transition from the printed page to a three-dimensional figure.
I always love that kind of stuff. Like obviously I've been to your place, you've been to my place. TJ and I, we have a ton of collectibles that are just like ridiculous when people come over, and it's like I just like having that 3D aspect of this stuff. And it's just so cool, like half the time I'll go over to TJ's and I'll just be like, oh, I forgot you had this. Oh, you have this. And it's just so kind of cool just to have. Like, I know so many people will come over and be like, oh, I like your Halo helmet. The one person finally like called me on it. They're like, oh, do you get to wear that? I'm like, no. And everyone's like, why not? I'm like, to be honest, I bought the helmet thinking I was going to be able to wear it, but you can't.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those like disappointment things. In fact, I think there was a thing going on with Loot Crate today with like you could win Finn's sword from Adventure Time, which I was all like, I want to win this. So
Yeah. Oh, which one? The demon sword or the grass sword?
Oh, I think it was the. It wasn't the. Maybe it was the demon sword. Is that the one that's like the gold and it's all kind of banged up?
Oh, okay. That's the standard sword. Okay.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Okay. At least I'm like. Usually half the time when I go on a nerd rant on podcast, people just look at you like, why? Why do you even talk? So I'm trying to think what else is there. Now, merchandise-wise, now, have you thought about... I know last year I bought this really cool T-shirt, and everybody who ever sees the T-shirt loves it. And then I have to explain it to them what the T-shirt is, because a lot of people just think it's a cat.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I explain what it is, I'm like, oh, it's when you're sitting down, you can be like a Bond villain. And everyone then like flips out even more. They're like, that's such a great idea. What other, like, you're going to have brand new T-shirts this year, or you might be stepping back from T-shirts for a little bit and trying to focus on maybe just little items?
Well, this is part of like the business end of things where, just starting out, I have a finite amount of money, and I have to be really careful about what I put that money into. But as a convention goer, as an exhibitor, you want to give yourself different tiers of price points. You want to give yourself a low end tier that is just like your, $1 to $10 range. Something that anybody can come up and be like, yeah, I got $10. I'll throw that down. I'll throw down $10 all day. You want to have a medium range tier that is between 15 and 25, and then you want to have a high end tier that is $30 and up for a single item. Now, with those medium and high end tiers, obviously the cost to make them goes up exponentially too. So for me, it's just a balancing act of I have to have something that I am reasonably sure is going to be a hit if I'm going to put that much money into it. Like, T-shirts are kind of hit and miss, and especially like with the different sizing, how many smalls do I buy? How many extra larges do I buy? So it's kind of a crapshoot with those. So.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Another reason why I'm kind of picking your brain on this, our one friend Raven just designed a brand new logo for the 4i Radio Network, and Eric has kind of gone a little nuts with our spreadsheet shop, where he's just throwing it on everything. And I'm just kind of like, you might want to pick and choose, what you want. Like he did make, he made like pins, like little buttons and stuff like that were going to be, I don't know if we're going to sell them or give them out during Comic-Con, but I like the really small one. It looks really good, the logo. I'm like, okay, cool. There's like a coffee mug that I thought the logo looked really good on, and the shirts. And then he's like, oh, I made a Letterman jacket. I'm all like, okay, first off, we live in Arizona. I don't know how many fans we have outside the state. Sure. So it's like you got to pick and choose your, you got to pick and choose your battles here.
I mean, and you guys, you've been doing this. You've had your podcast going longer than Tenko King's been up, so you most likely have a larger fan base. But for the comic, having too much, I think having too much to choose from. You end up with a lot of surplus product and, maybe not a lot of interested people, at least for the beginning. After you build that fan base up, you'll have more interest in it. But, I guess to actually answer your question with the shirts, I don't think I'll be doing any new designs yet. I think I might wait a little while. If anything, I've been seriously considering collecting all of the first year sketches into an art book, and maybe even doing like pre-orders or Kickstarter or something, just to gauge interest. But that wouldn't even be for a few months, after a few more comics have been up and kind of gauging fan response.
Yeah, no, Yeah, that's I definitely understand what you're saying, because I remember sometimes with your first couple of cons that you went to, it's like you'd either be coming home with a lot of T-shirts, or I mean, I think you guys had pretty much T-shirts you were selling since I think when you and Dan started your T-shirt company. You even had some leftovers from that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know you really want to pick and choose your market, and it all depends on the fans of how many you have and stuff like that. So that's what I've been trying to tell like Eric. It's like he's really getting excited because I know we're doing like a live show at con, and we have a panel and all that kind of stuff. But I'm also like, look, I'm like, I know we have the listens and stuff like that, but it's like we don't know how many people are actually going to show up to this stuff, so don't go overboard. But
Yeah.
he doesn't like to listen to my
I mean,
overboard.
It's fine though. I mean, you want to have stuff to sell. But you just don't want to go overboard. Like, I could let that artist side of me completely take over and just be like, nobody's really going to want to buy anything from me because the comic's only been out for a month, and what is this? Like, who's going to buy a pin or a print of something they don't really know yet? But also having faith in the fans that they want to support you, or that the work that you put out there is quality work, and they just want to be a part of it. I ended up selling out of a series of prints at PAX East, which was blew my mind. I had no idea that those prints were going to go that fast, and I almost sold out of the pins.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was I was really thankful and really just blown away by the overwhelming support.
No, that's just amazing to me. That's just awesome. Like I'm so happy for your success on this. Like I like to see, like, to know where you've started and just pushed yourself, and then like I just remember like waking up, I think New Year's Day, and just be like seeing your post of like, I finally quit my job, I'm going to do this full time. I'm like, okay, perfect, finally. This guy, that's what you needed to be doing like all your life as soon as you came out of the womb.
Yeah. Hey, Mom. I know I'm only 3 months old, but I don't think this day job thing's gonna work out for me.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just it's just amazing. Like, if you have not checked out Tenko King, definitely check it out because it's phenomenal. Now, not only are you doing Phoenix-comicon, so you have a little bit of a break before that, and then where are you headed next after that? Like, do you have another break, and then you get to go to another traveling? You've been doing a lot of traveling now.
Yeah, well, it's been crazy, man. Well, after Phoenix-comicon, I can't really say what it is just yet because it's still in the works. But there is a potential mystery con that I will be attending, and I'll have more information on that as more information evolves. I know that sounds cryptic, but it's still kind of up in the air. Like, it's one of those things where if it happens, it's going to be really cool. But if it doesn't happen, I don't want to put out like false advertising. And then after that is Tucson Comic-Con. And then I just got announced I'll be at Rose City close to the end of the year.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah, I saw your tour dates. I'm definitely going to post that up as well on the Facebook page. Let people know where they can find you if they're going to be in the area. Because I fully, like, that's why I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to even do a podcast with me. And like I said, you're welcome to come back anytime you want to promote stuff. We definitely, I know we want you on Socially Awkward. I just know our schedules are always just kind of strange and stuff. And heck, even if you just want to get a cup of coffee and just chit chat, I'm down for that as well.
Yeah, man.
But I'm trying to think what else I want to ask you. Let's see. It's a part of the show where I wish I would have not winged it. What have been some of your what do you think have been some of your biggest achievements so far this year, and where do you hope that this new idea and this new venture takes you, pretty much?
That's tough to say. It's been such a roller coaster of a year already. Obviously quitting my day job was a huge step, and it was incredibly scary. The anxiety of the first 3 weeks, and the panic of, oh God, what have I done? Makes it, I feel proud that I took that step, because having a steady job and doing being a part of something for 12 years and then taking that step to kind of go out on my own, it was just like I broke out of a huge comfort zone to take a chance on this, and I'm really proud of doing that. So I would say that was a huge achievement. Other than that, just putting myself out there more, trying to take every opportunity that comes my way, trying to turn any difficulty into an opportunity. Because I think that, you could look at every opportunity that comes your way as some sort of difficult task or a hurdle that needs to be overcome, or you can look at every difficult challenge as an opportunity in the making. And, that's really what I've been striving for. So I've been, trying to push myself more this year.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like I might have to do that in, I don't know how soon, but if I keep pushing myself with the stand-up, I know there's going to be that time where I have to go, okay, time to quit the job and see if I can make a go of this. So I can understand, like it's a big step, and I'm very happy that it was a very successful step so far. Like every time I see an update from you and then you're like, oh, I'm off to this way, like basically you are pretty much my favorite thing to follow on Instagram, because you just like to take pictures of just whatever you're working on or everybody you meet or just like the sites you're at and everything like that. So it's just all like fun just to go through and be like, oh, this is what TJ is doing, yay, I'm a part of this kind of thing. So it's always it's such a blast just to see, because like I've known how long you've been wanting to do this, like how long you've been wanting to push yourself and to actually do this. So I'm actually glad that 2014 was finally the year you decided to be like, you know what, it's time. It's time for me to leave it's time for me to find the old man, get my sword, and go save Hyrule.
I like that analogy.
Yeah,
it's a good year so far, and I think it came down to one of those things where I was either going to do it, and whether it worked out or not, at least I tried, or I was going to not do it and wake up in 40 years and regret not doing it.
Yeah, no, that's always like a big thing where you're just all like, oh, I should have done this, but I didn't do that. So basically, what we're telling you kids, because I know 3-year-olds listen to the podcast. Reach for the stars.
Reach for the stars. Follow your dreams.
Or follow your nose, whatever works.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like just take a chance. Like I think it's great. It's working out for TJ, and I'm hopefully I can't wait. I really just can't wait to see how this story is going to unfold, because this has been the first webcomic that you talked about it, but you usually like to tell me like where things are going and be like, oh, expect this and stuff. But this one is you've been so secretive about it that I'm just kind of like, well, what was the point of me being your friend now if I'm not going to know, all this stuff? But I do like it because it makes me want to keep reading and not just be like, well, I kind of already know what's going to happen. So this has just been like the secret project, because I want to say like literally it had the code name of Fox, when you first started. I'm like, oh, what is this? Oh, this is cool. This looks great. Oh, and just like how everything's unfolding. And I also have to say the webpage looks phenomenal.
Oh, thanks.
I love the 8-bit graphic thing. Already I'm seeing this. I was like, please, Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, let's make this a game. Can we do that in 8-bit graphics? That'd be phenomenal. But
any of your listeners are video game programmers, tell them to hit me up.
Oh yeah, I definitely. You hear that, people? Hit TJ up. Speaking of, where can they hit you up? Where can they find all your great artwork? I know you're on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to give those out to people to follow you, because guess what? We can always use more fans.
Yeah, man. I keep it pretty simple. On Twitter and Instagram, I'm just at Tavis Maiden, or Tavis Maiden, all one word. You can find tons of comics, including Stranger Danger, The Konamis, and Major Tom Jr. on ThunderskullPress.com. And you can find Tenko King on TenkoKing.com. So yeah, keep checking things out. There's lots of interesting things in the works that I can't talk about, but hopefully I'll be able to divulge more information later on.
If you want, we can. I can start making myself feel special, and when something happens before you like announce it to everybody else, I can be like the Nerdist and just be like, "We heard it first."
Yeah, points.
Yeah. But before I let you go, I know we have a couple more minutes left or whatnot. I just wanted to get all this kind of stuff out of the way, and then I just want to pretty much sit down and ask you. So, any new webcomics, comics, or anything that you've been reading that that you're really into right now, and you could recommend?
I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say Table Titans.
Oh,
It's amazing. It's amazing work that Scott Kurtz is putting out right now. He's working with a couple guys. Brian Hurt, who does The Sixth Gun, does his page breakdowns.
Oh,
so
okay.
They look beautiful. And then Steve Hamaker does all of his coloring.
Oh, nice.
And if you don't know who Steve Hamaker is, he colored things like Bone, Wrestle.
Yeah.
He's a great colorist. So that is currently my favorite webcomic, and frankly, like, Scott will send me pages he's working on, and I'll just be like, you son of a bitch. Like, now I have to step my game up even more.
Yeah, I always notice that when that always happens, especially also sometimes in our neck of the world with the podcasting world, it'd be all like, we should have done that first, or things like that. That's like Twitch. Like, I finally got an Xbox One, and I want to start doing some Twitch videos. I just haven't sat down and figured out what I wanted to do for Arcade Bros. But let's see. Have you been keeping up with any of the new DC comics, Marvel, anything like that?
I haven't. I'm not like so readily out at the comic shop anymore. Like when I was working at my job, I was just right in the same plaza, so I could walk over there and check things out. But pretty much I'm just with DC, Marvel. I'm at the mercy of anything people recommend, and I just haven't had any recommends in a while.
Okay, well, Marvel, I've been trying to find some recommendations for myself. I'm trying to remember the last Marvel I read, and DC is actually when I jumped on, because I've always been a huge Batman fan. Mm-hmm. So when they relaunched the New 52s, which I highly recommend, I know a lot of people were mad when DC did this, but there were so many characters that I had no idea about that I never thought I would like, and now I'm interested in, like, actually, if we hang out, I'll let you borrow if you want to. I have the first 3 volumes of the New 52 Flash.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely.
Oh, is that the Flashpoint stuff?
No, this is just a brand new, like, New 52. It's the Barry Allen Flash. Basically, like, everything did a reboot. Oh, if you haven't seen that, by the way, the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, so good. So good. We actually did a commentary about that. Oh, like, I want to pick that book up.
I want to see the Son of Batman.
Yes, I do too. I can't wait for that. I'm trying to, and also Justice League War. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, I'll have to let you borrow it. Surprisingly, though, not for kids.
Really?
Yeah, they have a couple of language and a little bit of violence, but it's the funniest character though in that one is Green Lantern. Like they got a lot of people behind that. Yeah, I'll definitely let you borrow that. Justice League War was actually really good.
Nice.
Yeah, but Flashpoint Paradox I absolutely loved. But yeah, the New 52s, like the new Batman that's out, especially the last one that they did. I just pick them up in the volumes now. I don't do the trade. I do the trade paperbacks, not the singles, because I'm never out there. So like the one was with when the Joker comes back. I think it was called Death in the Family. That one was really good. Zack Snyder was the writer for that, so it was just like, not Zack Snyder. Is it Zack Snyder? I think it's Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder was the director for 300.
That's right. I think it was Scott Snyder, that's why. Okay. I remember his name is Scott. But yeah, so I've been trying to find new Marvel stuff, but I haven't found anything. Actually, a good book I just picked up it's Hellboy, Batman, and Starman.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard of that, but it was it's a one-shot like kind of comic where Hellboy was with a few other superheroes. It was actually it's really well done. I'll let you borrow that as well next time I see you. Mike Magnolia's version of Batman's really kind of cool looking in his artwork. But yeah, I would recommend some of the New 52s. Like surprisingly, I've actually enjoyed them a lot more. They've actually given more depth to these characters that before, like especially like the Flash. To me, I was just like, it's a character just runs fast. I didn't really think anything of it. And now realizing all the stuff he can actually do, I'm like, this is actually kind of cool. So,
yeah.
But yeah, Batman's always been kind of cool. I actually gave Superman another shot and actually really enjoyed him. So surprisingly, because I know I'm not a huge Superman fan.
Yeah, Superman is such a dichotomy. It's like he could be a really interesting character, but he's just written so poorly so often that I think people just write him off.
Yeah, like I think the new one I picked up was Action 51, and it was like a reintroduction of Superman. And it was really kind of cool because he was like literally running around the city in like jeans and a t-shirt that just had the S on it.
Yeah.
And like he literally like grabs like a mob boss and like drops him off a building and then rushed downstairs to catch him to kind of like, make him spill his guts. And then like it kind of made like Superman seem like a menace, like the cops show up and trying to arrest him. And he kind of like had like a cockiness to him where a kid was like, hey, can you jump from here to all the way to the building? And he's all the way to like the Daily Planet. He's like, I don't know, let me find out. And he just like takes off and stuff. So it was actually kind of a cool way of looking at Superman. That way I'm like, wow, he's kind of a dick. I kind of enjoy this, kind of full of himself with his powers and stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool. Speaking of which, comic book movies that have come out, have you seen the new Captain America?
I haven't yet. We need to go make some time to see that.
Okay, I highly recommend it. A lot of people have asked me, does it do anything with Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, does it really tie into that? It doesn't so much. It's really just setting the stage for the next Avengers.
Okay.
And I say, basically, like, I'm going to have to see it again because I will say this, like, I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. This is what I've actually been doing for a lot of people, but they drop a ton of Easter eggs in this movie.
Nice.
Like, there's name droppings of people. There's all these other little hidden stuff all over the place. So, yeah, highly recommend it. Just a overall fun movie.
Right on. Yeah, we watched Thor 2 again recently, and I forgot, like, just how much I like that movie.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. And I can't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I'm excited to see that.
That is, like, my favorite movie that I'm looking forward to this year.
Yep.
Like, as much as everybody was like, I thought you'd be really on board with Godzilla. I'm like, don't get me wrong, the new Godzilla looks fantastic, but to me, Guardians of the Galaxy just seems one of those movies that is just going to be fun.
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel, I've read some Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, mostly the Annihilation series, which, if you haven't read it, was a pretty cool series. But I don't know, beyond that, I don't know a whole lot about the Guardians of the Galaxy. So for me, it's going to be a wholly different experience kind of going into one of these comic book movies with mostly fresh eyes.
Yeah, that's a lot of people are looking at it too. They're all like, because like I know a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy. Like it was funny because when I know the picture was opted to be made into an actual motion picture, people were like, "What the heck is?" I'm like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" I'm like, "It's like Avengers, but in space, but they're like Cowboy Bebop, where they're like a really bad functional team and they all have problems. It's gonna be great," like kind of thing. And Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, I when he first was picked, I was like, really? Because I love him on Parks and Rec, but I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. And then after seeing the preview, I'm like, all right, you sold me. This is okay.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to me that Vin Diesel is gonna be Groot's voice.
Yeah. Which is perfect, he was the Iron Giant, now he's a Tree Giant.
Now he's a Tree Giant. So, but it's just funny to me. I'm like, all you're gonna say is I am Groot. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking really forward to that. It looks amazing. So, but yeah, highly recommend Captain America 2. And if you haven't played it yet, highly recommend Lego Marvel.
Oh yeah, it's so good. We actually just unlocked the last guy. So.
Oh okay, yeah, I'm actually doing that now. I beat the story mode. I actually got it from GameFly. So I'm playing through and getting all the characters, like all the little hidden things. The one I got really mad when I found characters, I was like, I don't have Magneto yet. Why is Magneto the only one with magnet powers? I'm like, I hate this game. But I'm finally unlocking like a bunch of stuff. And then, I'm going through trying to find all the remainder characters and just collect some blocks. I really want to get Deadpool, though. I'm just like, I want Deadpool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's up there, yeah.
But yeah, that's another fantastic game as well. Just trying to get all my comic book news in here and whatnot. So, but definitely check out TJ. I want to thank you for being able to be on the show again. And as always, you're welcome back anytime. Or if you ever want to come on to any other shows, the door is always open for you. In fact, if you were like, hey, I'm going to come on Friday, I will just be like, okay, guess you can't come on now. We have someone more important than you. He's got like VIP passes, so I'm sorry.
Sweet internet VIP.
Always with me. You can literally just be like, hey, I want to go fight a baby. I'll be like, I'm there. Let's go.
Actually, that would make a really, really good podcast.
Fighting babies. Hi, I'm TJ, and I'm Steve, and we're here to fight babies.
It's all just Foley sounds.
Yeah. Everyone's all like, I don't know what it is. This is like the #1 podcast. It's like 10 minutes long, but it's fantastic.
You imagine, like, yeah, you would just have to find a bunch of sound effects. I mean, real babies.
Coming in 2015. Yeah, baby fight.
No, baby brawl.
Oh, even better. Oh, see, that's good. Baby brawl. Good times. But yeah, so I don't have a sign off for the show because I think Kyle used to say Excelsior, but I know that's Stanley.
Yeah.
So I need a cool sign off for this show. But thank you for coming on, and I will look forward.
Don't forget to polybag your comics.
Yes. Oh, that's
And we'll seal this one for freshness.
Nice. TJ's going to be the new head writer on Long Box Cast now. Seal it up and keep it fresh until next week, kids.
Oh, that's good.
You like that?
That's more succinct.
Okay. That's what I do. Yeah, so thank you for coming on, and seal it up and keep it fresh for next week, kids. Bye.
Bye. How'd that go? Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Used to be part of the exit. Is the rambling talking afterwards.
Oh yeah, I always do that. Like once I'll have the music stop, and then I'll do like, this has been a fine production of the 4i Radio Network, and then I always do something at the end.
Yeah.
This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com. Oh, I can't believe I had to pay him like $1,000 just to be on the show.
Wait, I thought it was 5,000.
Gotta go.